Your dog heard you. That's the part nobody tells you. When you called its name just now, when it looked up for half a second and then went back to whatever it was doing, it heard you. It understood, and it chose not to respond. But here's what's strange about that. Dogs have one of the most sophisticated social brains on Earth. They evolved alongside humans for 15,000 years, not to be cute, not to be pets, but specifically to understand us, our faces, our voices, our intentions, the direction of our eyes. No other animal on the planet can do what a dog does when it reads a human. So why is yours ignoring you? That question has a real answer. And it's not the answer most dog owners expect. Because the problem isn't your dog. It's what your dog has been learning from you every single day without you realizing it. Let's start with something that Duke University researcher Dr. Brian Hare proved in 2002 and has spent the last 2 decades confirming. Dogs are better at reading human communication than chimpanzees. Not slightly better. Dramatically better. When a human points toward a hidden food location, a dog will follow that gesture and find the food on the very first try, with no training. A chimpanzee, despite being our closest genetic relative and despite years of human contact, fails that same test more than 70% of the time. Wolves raised by humans fail it too. It's not intelligence, it's not practice. It's something that was bred specifically into domestic dogs over thousands of years of living with humans, the ability to read us. Your dog can read your face. It can hear the difference between your happy voice and your frustrated voice. It knows when you're tense before you've said a word. Research from the University of Sao Paulo found that dogs can distinguish happy from angry human expressions and adjust their behavior accordingly. This is not a simple animal. This is an animal with a brain built specifically around understanding you. So when it's not responding to you, something specific is going wrong, and it's almost never what you think. Here's what's most likely happening. You're accidentally teaching your dog to ignore you every day with the best intentions. It works like this. You say your dog's name. It doesn't come. You say it again. Nothing. You say it a third time, a little louder. Maybe it glances over. Maybe it doesn't. You give up and move on. This has happened dozens of times, maybe hundreds. And every single time it happens, your dog learns something. It learns that its name, that sound you make, doesn't reliably lead to anything. No consequence, no reward, no outcome worth interrupting what it's doing. Behavioral scientists call this learned irrelevance. It's not stubbornness, it's not defiance, it's accurate learning. Research in applied behavior analysis shows that a cue, any cue, loses measurable predictive value within as few as 5 to 10 trials where nothing follows it. Most dog owners say their dog's name dozens of times every single day with no follow-through. You didn't fail to train your dog. You trained it to ignore you. The same thing happens with come. Think about every time your dog has heard that word. How many times did it lead to something genuinely good? How many times did it lead to the end of playtime, or a bath, or being put in a crate, or worst of all, nothing at all? Your dog hasn't failed to learn what come means. It has perfectly learned that come doesn't reliably predict anything worth coming for. Military working dogs respond to commands with near-perfect reliability, not because they're smarter or more trained than your dog, because their handlers are taught to say a command exactly once. If the dog doesn't respond, the handler doesn't repeat. They physically guide, then reward. The cue is never diluted. It never becomes meaningless noise. Your dog hears its name the way you hear background conversation in a crowded restaurant. It's there. It's registered. And it's been filtered out because your brain learned correctly that it doesn't require your attention. Now here's the part that's harder to hear. If you've been correcting your dog harshly, raising your voice, using punishment, expressing frustration, you haven't been teaching it to listen. You've been teaching it that you're unpredictable, and unpredictable things get avoided. In 2020, Dr. Ana Catarina Vieira de Castro at the University of Porto studied 92 dog training schools. Dogs trained with aversive methods, corrections, harsh commands, punishment-based techniques showed cortisol levels significantly higher than dogs trained with rewards, not just during training, hours afterward. And here's the piece that matters. Those dogs were twice as likely to develop what researchers call learned helplessness, a state where the dog stops initiating interaction entirely. Not because it's being defiant, because no behavior feels safe anymore. When a dog is running on cortisol on stress, its brain is in threat response mode, and a brain in threat response mode cannot simultaneously learn new behavior. The neuroscience is not subtle on this point. Punishment doesn't teach a dog what to do. It only suppresses what not to do, and at the cost of the dog's willingness to engage with you at all. Every time you correct your dog harshly, you're spending relationship currency you need for training to work. And for most dogs, the account goes negative faster than owners realize. Here's what none of this is about. It's not about dominance. It's not about who's the alpha. It's not about showing your dog you're in charge. The alpha wolf theory, the idea that dogs need a dominant human leader or they'll take over the household, was based on a 1,947 study of captive wolves in an artificial pack. The researcher who conducted it, David Mech, spent the next 5 decades publicly disavowing his own conclusions. Wolves in the wild don't have alphas. They have parents. And dogs aren't wolves. They're something that evolved from wolves specifically to live with humans by becoming less wolf-like, not more, by becoming more cooperative, more socially attuned, more interested in what the human wants. What your dog needs from you isn't dominance. It's 3 things: safety, predictability, value. A dog that feels safe with you, that can predict what you'll do next, and that finds interacting with you genuinely rewarding. That dog will pay attention. That dog will respond, not because it has to, because it wants to. Dr. Lisa Gunter at Arizona State University measured this directly. Dogs with strong owner bonds learn new tasks in an average of 8 training trials. Dogs with weak owner bonds required 24 trials for the identical task using identical training methods. Same techniques, 3 times longer to learn. The difference was the relationship. Your dog doesn't need more commands. It needs a reason to care about yours. Stop here for a second. Your dog has a brain built to understand you. It's been watching you constantly since the day it came home. It wants to connect. That drive toward you, toward cooperation, toward relationship is 15,000 years of evolution. It's already there. The question is whether what you've been doing has been feeding that drive or starving it. Because everything we've covered, the name repetition, the harsh corrections, the inconsistent follow-through, has one thing in common. It makes you harder to read, more unpredictable, less worth paying attention to. The fix is the opposite of what most people try. Not louder, not stricter, not more repetition. Clearer, more consistent, more worth listening to. Here's exactly how. Fix 1. Stop saying your dog's name. For the next 48 hours, say your dog's name only when you can guarantee something good follows. Not every time, not casually, only when you're ready to reward the response. When you do say it and your dog looks at you, reward immediately. Treat, praise, play, whatever your dog finds valuable. Do this 10 times a day in short sessions. Within 3 to 5 days, most dogs show measurable improvement in name response. The name has rebuilt its predictive value. It means something again. Fix 2. 1 cue, 1 time. Give every command exactly once. If your dog doesn't respond, don't repeat. Gently guide it physically into the behavior, then reward. No frustration, no raised voice. Just quiet follow-through. Within 1 week of this discipline, most dogs begin responding on the first cue. Because the cue is reliable again. It always leads somewhere. It was never diluted. Fix 3. Become the most interesting thing in the room. For 2 weeks, carry high-value treats at all times. Anytime your dog voluntarily looks at you, not because you called it, not because you asked it to reward that look immediately, you are rewarding the act of paying attention to you. Professional trainers call this building engagement. What you're actually doing is making yourself worth watching, making yourself the thing in the room most likely to produce something good. Within days, most dogs begin actively seeking eye contact and proximity, not because they've been commanded to, because they've learned it's worth their while. Dr. Alexandra Horowitz at Barnard College's Dog Cognition Lab found that dogs maintain attention and proximity at rates 3 to 4 times higher with owners who are calm, consistent, and low repetition compared to owners who are emotionally variable and repetitive. Your dog is already trying to read you. These fixes make you readable. Now, the honest part. Some dogs need more than technique changes. A dog that was raised in a puppy mill, in severe neglect, or in an abusive environment may have developed true learned helplessness, a state documented by psychologist Martin Seligman, in which an animal stops initiating behavior entirely because no behavior has ever led anywhere safe. These dogs don't ignore commands. They've stopped generating responses. They need professional support, not just a new approach. And if your dog has suddenly started ignoring you after years of reliability, that's a vet visit, not a training adjustment. Hearing loss, thyroid problems, pain, early neurological changes, these can all present as behavioral unresponsiveness. A study from the University of Oxford found that roughly 1 in 12 dogs presented for training problems had an underlying medical cause. A dog that's always been difficult is a communication problem. A dog that has suddenly changed is a health problem until proven otherwise. Here's what all of this comes down to. Your dog has been listening since the day it came home. It listened when you said its name and nothing followed. It listened when you raised your voice and learned you were unpredictable. It listened to the pattern, the one you didn't know you were creating, and it responded exactly the way an intelligent, socially attuned animal would. It tuned you out. Not because it's stubborn, not because it's dominant, not because it doesn't love you, because you became background noise. And the fix isn't about training. Not really. It's about communication, about becoming someone your dog can read, predict, trust, and find genuinely worth paying attention to. That's not dominance. That's not control. That's a relationship. Your dog has been trying to understand you since the day you brought it home. Maybe it's time to return the favor.